Welcome back to Street Smart. I'm Michael McKee. We're live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at the Kansas City Fed's annual economic symposium, where this morning Ben Bernanke suggested the Federal Reserve isn't about to do any additional quantitative easing, but they've certainly done a lot, and it's had effects beyond American borders. Joining me now, the Bank of Korea's governor, Choong. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I want to ask you what kind of effect this has had in Asia and on your country, because of course when the U.S. does this, it certainly lowers the value of the dollar.
Surely, USA is #1 trading partner, not in terms of the magnitude of the trading, but anyway, USA is our #1, the most important economy. And I don't think what he said this morning affects very much the Korean market, because what he said was more or less expected, and so expectations were already formed, and as he said that he would do something in September meeting, so I guess we better wait and see.
Well, Brazil's finance minister said recently the currency wars are still on. Does it concern you that the dollar keeps depreciating because of U.S. monetary policy?
To a certain extent, the value of dollar has been depreciating, and I guess the trend will continue to do. And of course, Korean won is very much affected by that. But I don't think currency war is a right word. And at the G20 and other international fora, this finance ministers and central bank governors gather together to discuss how to cope with such a problem. And so currency war is not the right expression, and I guess we'll somehow find a way to avoid the currency wars.
Now, one of the concerns for Ben Bernanke and for a lot of the people gathered here is that we're not just seeing the U.S. slow down, but the rest of the world. What's the outlook for Korea at this point?
Already more than 8 months of the year have passed, and our original forecast of this year's growth was 4.3%. And I think we will achieve our objective unless something dramatic happens.
What about next year? 4.6% is your forecast.
I don't think there is any reason to change our projection as of now.
Now, inflation has been a concern. It's been accelerating there, and you've got a food inflation problem. Does that continue to concern you?
Of course, CPI as a whole is a matter of concern, but what I concern more is rising core inflation. Core inflation reached the level of 3.8% last month, and our CPI rose to 4.7%. And our projection is that the CPI is likely to fall, whereas core inflation is likely to remain. And the impact on the future inflation is more from the core inflation rather than CPI. So we just concerned much more about the high level of core inflation.
Does that mean higher interest rates? You've talked about normalization. Does that mean rates continue to rise?
Unless it all depends upon the external environment. And as long as the world economy is not facing the so-called double dip or recessions, I guess we have to continue our efforts to normalize our interest rate.
15 seconds, very quickly. G20 coordination, any kind of special meetings, anything coming up?
Of course, we propose to establish global financial safety net as a way to stabilize the capital markets of the emerging economies. And the chair country, France, has a very favorable view on this. And I do hope we can have some meaningful result on this.
All right, thank you very much. Bank of Korea Governor Choong.